The SCP universe is one of the worst universes anyone could possibly live in, where you would have to deal with unkillable monsters, sadistic reality warpers, universal beings, and whatever this is. All things far beyond the ordinary. But when you can transform into millions of different aliens, ordinary was never really in a question for you. Ben 10 vs SCP Part 3. We have looked into a variety of SCP Ben can and cannot deal with these past few weeks, but now we're going all in, double the amount of SCPs, some new, some old, and Ben won't do this alone. He's now accompanied by Gwen, Kevin, and Rook. To add on, the SCP Foundation allowed Ben to use SCP-914 to upgrade the Omnitrix to allow him to go Ultimate Aliens and to use Fusion Aliens as well, although I'm limiting it to canon transformations to avoid headcanon stuff, unfortunately. We'll also avoid using the strongest versions of most of the SCPs because they can get pretty crazy. There is an infinite amount of multiverses out there, so there's plenty of versions of each SCP, so they're not always going to be OP. But we settled the rules. It's about time we begin. Get cozy, grab your snacks, prepare to be fed the most intellectual brain rot known to man. And don't forget to like, hype, and subscribe for more SCP and Ben 10 content. Alright, without any more yapping, let's begin. On a dark night in North Ireland, a farmer hears a loud, uncanny scream from his chicken coop. He goes to investigate, expecting to find a fox, but instead he comes across this monstrosity. SCP-3199, Human Refuted. A 9 feet tall, over 1,600 pounds, hairless humanoid chicken-like creature. They prey on humans, mutilating any unsuspecting victim. They spit out a corrosive red acid on their prey, melting them down before feeding them to their offspring. It's just a big chicken though. I'd body that, says an idiot. They aren't just big, but they're also powerful too, capable of ripping a man's head off with their jaws. And just by their sheer size and being able to run at 15 miles per hour, they can burst through walls, requiring the SCP Foundation to contain them in 2-meter thick, acid-resistant steel walls. With their offspring, they prove to be incredibly difficult to contain or get rid of, as they spam the spawn button absurdly, regurgitating over hundreds to thousands of eggs when needed. And even infants will almost instantly grow up to ensure more offspring are produced if no other adults are around. The eggs can withstand immense temperatures and 180,000 psi. The eggshells are basically like hard rocks, making them hard to dispose of. With them spreading rapidly across the planet, in soon time, they'll overrun the planet and eradicate all of humankind. A worry the Foundation would have if the plumber crew weren't there to help out, of course. With dealing with the adults, all 4 of them should be able to easily handle them. A variety of Ben's aliens can display wall level to much higher destructive degrees all the time, and Gwen, Kevin, and Rook have been able to handle these aliens or fight opponents who are as strong as these aliens. The problem would come in with handling their eggs and rapid spawning. But the eggs are not... They can be frozen at -190 degrees. So with aliens like Arctiguana and Big Chill, Ben can freeze the eggs, and maybe Kevin can finish the job by crushing the egg. Gwen, sensing their mana, could possibly trace all the 3199s across the planet. She has been able to do so with Ben in her universe. Lastly, Rook gets the proton truck up and running, and they can travel the entire world, fully eliminating the Human Refuted. Y'all got your favorite chair? One that you just love to sit back and unwind in? I want you to imagine that chair. But your least favorite cousin named Gerald comes into your room. Now, Gerald weighs as much as DJ Khaled and SCP-3199 combined, meaning he's absolutely obliterating that chair. So now it's time to hit up the good old IKEA to hopefully find a new and even better chair that Gerald won't destroy. As you're shopping, you notice the store looks far bigger than it ever has before, almost like you can go on and on and on forever. And the employees clearly aren't human when they stand over 7 feet tall with extended limbs and no visible face. That's when you know you have entered SCP-3008. SCP-3008 is a Euclid-class anomaly, where across the multiverse of IKEAs, any wandering person can get trapped here, and during the day, this place is very nice. It's much like a normal IKEA. All the furniture is free, infinite replenishing food, and sure, the employees look like Slender Man's neglected kids, but they cool. All until nightfall hit. Then the entire vibes changes. Now the employees become hostile, forcefully asking you to leave by saying the store is closing. And if they lay their hands on you, they're ripping your body apart. No human with bare hands could take these guys on at all, leaving the victims trapped in this dimension to build forts out of the furniture in the store to hide from the hostile employees during the night. However, the dread of being trapped in the IKEA forever while being hunted down by superhuman monsters may come to an end. The SCP operatives have allowed Team 10 to come in there and put in that work, work. The employees of 3008 haven't really showcased anything on the level of the squad, even being taken out by standard artillery fire, so they pose zero threat to any of them. However, the issue is getting all of the victims out of the IKEA. Ben might want to transform into Accelerate and quickly dash around the store, grabbing as many people as possible. Jet Ray, being another one of Ben's speedster aliens, could also accomplish that feat, while zapping away any hostile employees. And I thought there was a third speedster alien, but for some strange reason I can't remember. Must be a trash alien. Cool, so Ben can grab a lot of the victims along with Gwen, creating constructs to save people, and Rook, if he were to enter with his proto truck, could also provide assistance in saving people. Kevin will just be Kevin. Saving as many people as they can, they now gotta figure out how to get back to their home dimension. This is solvable though. Apparently 14 individuals have escaped without super heroic help, mostly if you're able to find the main entrance again. With Rook's proto tool, he can use a grappling feature to mark the entrance so everyone knows where to go. Or Gwen, who's been shown to be able to track items in separate dimensions, could use that to return home as well. So not only would all four of them mollywop any of the external threat of SCP-3008, but they could use multiple solutions to also escape this separate dimension. SCP-3008 is cleared. SCP-1000 is a tragic SCP, known as Bigfoot or Sasquatch by the majority, and claimed to be highly contagious, hence why Bigfoot is always away from us, never to be found. But the real reason is a lot sadder than that. They're actually incredibly intelligent, just as smart as humans, maybe even smarter. They built their own society, more advanced than early humans were at their own times. They are nocturnal, hence the name Children of the Night. But humanity became some losers, and during the day they raided all their kingdoms, stealing their technology that they built and used it against them, wiping out the vast majority of their race, with only a few surviving and hiding in disclosed locations. SCP sends Team 10 to find these primates to get as much knowledge as possible. With Gwen tracking, they can find one of the last civilizations of the Night Children. While there, Ben might want to transform into Shock Squatch to ease their worry. If SCP-1000 were to give them the time of day of discussion, they would learn of their great tragedy of their species. Rook can relate, being an alien, he also struggles with human racism, along with Gwen not being fully human herself. This might make SCP-1000 be civil with them, although they would still request that they stay far away from humanity and live peacefully in isolation. Despite they were sent here to be snitches, Team 10 fully understands and agree to keep them secret from humanity. Some of SCP-1000 may appreciate this and decide to tell them about their secret weapon, that they may or may not created a bloodlusted unkillable monster to get revenge on all of humanity. What? Meet SCP-4715, the Beast Born of War, a multi-limbed mammal-like beast who stands at 5.2 meters initially, but with enough rage can grow up to 24 meters and possibly even higher. The monster is nigh impossible to destroy, resisting extreme temperatures of 1600 degrees Celsius and as low as negative 150 degrees Celsius. He can survive thermobaric weapons being detonated on him, and no true solution to eliminating him either, despite the fact SCP have weapons as strong or stronger than our own, which should include nuclear bombs. So if SCP-4715 could possibly be town to city level in power and durability, and if you're able to harm him, he can regenerate lost body parts in a few days. He's no pushover and can only get stronger the more humanity feeds into the rage. He's not entirely... The fact that he can lose limbs prove he's not immune to everything. He's also capable of incapacitated. His regeneration also takes time, and using lacrimatory agents, capsaicinoids, reduces his rage. So how can Team 10 handle this monster? The moment Ben hears that this thing grows larger to increase his power, he's going straight to Humongosaur. And why stop there? Ultimate Humongosaur would become 10 times more powerful than that. And for fun, I thought it would be cool if Kevin absorbed SCP-173, the sculpture, this concrete rebar object that is durable enough to withstand nuclear warheads, meaning Kevin at a minimum should be this strong too. And I'll leave it to these two for the fighting. Gwen and Rook are more likely to observe the situation and also probably want to learn this beast's weaknesses. Kevin with 173 absorption can easily dish out punches that would stun or knock out 475. And as for Ben, an AP Humongosaur base form can fight it with upgraded malware, who should be superior to his race of galvanic mechamorphs, who can repair their home moon back together again. This would at least be a multi-continental in power, and since he's Ultimate Humongosaur, he'd be 10 times that. So honestly, Ultimate Humongosaur alone is probably one-shotting 4715. But if these two somehow didn't easily defeat this SCP, and 4715 feeds off of their aggression and grows stronger, more powerful, and larger, they still have a chance. Gwen and Rook, either through observing or researching from SCP-1000 members, they can inform Ben and Kevin to halt their aggression and use it for other means. Kevin can keep 4715 distracted as Ben becomes becomes pesky dust and puts 4715 in a comatose where there's no aggression, significantly weakening him. Or gut rot and create his own substances similar to lacrimatory agencies and capsule blah blah blah. So even if Ben or Kevin couldn't easily one-shot 4715, they still have the means to contain him, making them overall the winners. And they can keep their promise and have Gwen make all of humanity forget that SCP-1000 even existed. On to the next SCP. It's a regular day for John. He's taking notes during his college lecture until he hears this strange clicking sound. It goes on and on and on, and everyone around him seems to not notice it at all. He walks home and he still hears it. In the shower, he still hears it. He tries going to bed and the clicking is still there. It's like this for days, to even weeks. No one around him understands what he's talking about, and his therapist is considering to diagnose him with schizophrenia. But he knows he's not crazy. This clicking sound is real. Later that night, he attempts to sleep again with that ongoing clicking sound. It sounds louder now, like it's closer and moving. He opens his eyes and he finally sees the culprit of the clicking noise. And before he could react, his time was up. SCP-4975, time's up. An anomalous bird-like creature that spins its body parts around like hands on a clock, making its infamous clicking sound. And it will prey on a target for weeks to months before it mutilates them. It can make itself entirely invisible to any human who's not its targeted prey. And when fired upon by weapons, it can make itself intangible to avoid damage, making this anomaly extremely difficult to track and to defeat. As a lot of you probably have already figured out, this anomaly is a metaphor for impending death. And SCP-4975 found its next prey. Can they be saved? Y'all were expecting the answer to be yes with Ben Tennyson, huh? Hate to disappoint, but that man will not be present. He, Gwen, and Kevin are busy dealing with another SCP that's extremely dangerous. This SCP hypothetical is a Rook solo adventure. Rook has been learning a lot more about the vast amount of SCPs. More in particular, the benevolent SCPs. Dealing with so many hostile ones, studying about the friendly ones caught his interest. Ones in particular like SCP-999, 131, and 250-She. A modern dinosaur SCP commonly confused with his lunatic cousin, regular SCP-250, which is a living allosaur skeleton. But C, he's way more chill. He's a friendly megalosaur, yes I know I'm showing a T-Rex, shut up, who's really intelligent. He understands sign language, and he's a D1 dinosaur fighter. He's exceptionally skilled in combat and has powers too. Like Humongosaur, he can decrease and increase his size, up to 40 feet tall. Rook gets a call from the SCP Foundation. Someone claims they can't stop hearing NBA Youngboy music, and they might be seeing him too. Although the SCP Foundation understands it's not NBA Youngboy, but SCP-4975. Understandable how you can confuse the two though. 4975 stalks his next victim, ready to attack them at an SCP site, until Rook enters the scene with help. 250-E and 131s are here to aid him in battling 4975. Now 4975 could easily rip apart humans and overpower trained defense personnel. Should definitely at least be street to wall level tiers, which is nothing to Rook. He was able to match and beat Kyber the Huntsman, same hunter who can defeat Ben's stronger aliens like Raph, who can survive falls from the sky and overpower Tetraman. With what we know, 4975 can't beat Rook at all. So for the first time, 4975 became the prey. This isn't a fight of who would win though, but rather who'll survive. Can Rook save the individual, or is 4975 inevitable? How can Rook and his team stop this thing? 4975 appears invisible to everyone but its prey, so through Rook's naked eye he can't see it. But maybe SCP-131 with their advanced vision can, or at least detect his presence since they are naturally aware of danger. This could give Rook an opening to firing an arrow before 4975 reaches his victim. Rook also has a thermal scanner that can help him maybe pick up on 4975. 250-She could potentially detect 4975 with his enhanced senses, and attack and maybe even defeat the bird, or at least allow Rook to get a free throw shot on hitting 4975. As long as Rook can get a hit, they're in the clear. Problem is, 4975 has an answer for that. It can go intangible, avoiding critical hits 250-She and Rook could land. It passes through steel bars and bullets to do so maybe none of their attacks could even be effective to begin with. If time allows it, 250-She and 131 can serve as distractions or deter 4975 from attacking, considering it prefers to hunt its prey when they're vulnerable and alone, giving Rook the chance to attack the stationary body left behind when 4975 goes Joker Arsene mode. Maybe destroying the body will destroy the intangible form too. If not, then it's all about time. SCP personnel can capture it, and Rook essentially being an advanced superhero should likely do the same. Or is it time's up for the poor victim and there's no way of stopping 4975? You guys let me know in the comments if you think Team Rook can stop 4975 in time. Next SCP. Garfield is an iconic character. I love him. You love him. And yes, for the sake of your existence, you love him. We all love him. So what happens when someone doesn't love him? Or they were tasked to make a top tier Garfield movie in theaters and it flopped? Well, someone like that will be greeted by SCP-3166. Yes, this is real. SCP-3166, also known as GORFIELD, is an anomaly that appears to individuals who are to blame for the failing of any Garfield media. He's a LeBron-sized cat-like entity who looks like some dude in a Garfield costume, but no, that's actually its fur. And in its insides, it's all lasagna, which it will use to forcefully feed its victims after pinning them down, feeding them lasagna until the victim chokes or suffocates. So how can Team 10 deal with this? With zero difficulty. One arrow from Rook or a good hook from Kevin and Garfield is gone. Getting straight fried into burnt lasagna is GG's. If we go with Garfield's regular route, I wanted to go with the talented YouTuber's Lumpy Touch Garfield. Team 10's leaving the scene thinking this was light work until they notice Garfield starts rebuilding itself into something far weirder. A strange eldritch version that has enough power to eradicate planet Earth. Seeing this, Ben would likely go to Waybig, another alien who has planet-destroying power, as long as the Omnitrix doesn't sell him and he ends up turning into gray matter instead. As Waybig, he's going to go ultimate Waybig to ensure Garfield's going to be defeated. Gwen's also hopping in, going into her Anodite form, which was powerful enough to humble Humongosaur and defeat Ben's ultimate alien. Ultimates like Echo, who bodies Ultimate Kevin, who would have been more powerful than Agrigor, who laughs at solar system explosions detonating on him. This should guarantee a W. Garfield cheesing like he found a jackpot of lasagna as he consumes their attacks and grows significantly even more powerful. Now growing to stellar sizes, Garfield threatens to consume the entire universe. Existence is now futile to Garfield's #1 fan as he prepared to erase all of existence. Now Ben might want to use his Bi-Omnitrix function and use Atomic X. Atomics alone upscales the ultimate aliens who can have that solar system power. Then you stack Alien X and oh yeah, we're cooking. Alien X without trying is no selling infinite universal size explosions. Now Atomic X is nowhere near as strong, but even having 1% of infinite power still makes you infinite. So Atomic X might be universal, allowing him to at least contend with full power Garfield. But if all else fails, Alien X, the alien who's casually universal, but frankly far more powerful, as he can break 5th dimensional barriers with just a sliver of his power. So one good hit from the Big X and Garfield will no longer have the case of the Mondays. The final boss has arrived. SCP-1, the Scarlet King. Let's not play stupid. Alien X is immediately needed and the others can't do anything to this SCP. We already established Alien X can recreate universe and break 5th dimensional barriers, but that's not the end of it. Professor Peridot and Eon has weapons capable of erasing all of existence, which according to the Nihilogillian ones, that could be higher than 26 dimensions. Alien X will surpass Eon and Professor Peridot, making him above 26 dimensions. And you know, let's get real crazy. The Forge of Creation exists beyond their universe, but let's assume that's not just Ben's universe, but the whole cosmology. An unreachable distance between dimensions and the Forge of Creation, making Alien X above dimensionality. A power level similar to characters like Trueform Pennywise or the Beyonder for context. And unfortunately, all of that yapping is not saving him from Scarlet King. Everything I gave to Alien X can apply to the Scarlet King plus more. He existed before creation, is above Platonic concept, and can reduce all of creation to ashes, which would be the new sphere. Imagine Ben's whole cosmology, but infinitely larger than that. And that's the Scarlet King's chew toy. Unfortunately, Alien X cannot win this one. It's the end of the SCP world and Ben 10. If Rook didn't lock in earlier and discovered SCP-999, the one SCP who's destined to defeat his father, the Scarlet King. Problem is, he's still a baby and he can't handle his father yet. That's when everyone, and I mean everybody, comes in. Alien X comes back, using his time manipulation to help age up 99, along with Anodite Gwen accelerating 999's mana to help his aging process. Oh, and also Dr. Bright, another reality warper, will help in this case. 049, having already good relations with Ben from the last episode, he could cook something up similar to his anti-adapter experiment he made on 682, except now to help power up 999. With the help from all benevolent, friendly reality warper SCPs, they can accomplish their goal and make full power SCP-999. 999's power being literal joy. He makes hostile SCPs calm down or become downright jolly. Even though the Scarlet King is literally the embodiment of evil, not even he may be able to resist the power of hope. But what do you guys think? Is Project 999 a proper solution on how to deal with the Scarlet King? How else would you guys try to deal with the Scarlet or any other SCP in this video? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. This is the finale of Ben 10 versus the SCP series. But if this video does somehow incredibly extremely well, there can be a future. But with all of that out of the way, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll catch y'all later.